This is Hannibal back here with a UFO news update. Of course, the big congressional hearing was yesterday on UFOs, and today the um, the government in the U.S. also released a new report on UFOs, which I will delve into more in the coming days. There's something I want to address regarding Canada's reaction to this, but I just wanted to mention a couple more things out of yesterday. Overall, the hearing was pretty good. A lot of people in the reviews that I've seen of it didn't like the NASA guy. I mean, he certainly said the least out of everyone, but a lot of people didn't find him trustworthy or that he knew a lot. Maybe they purposely sent him because he didn't know a lot. And again, he was a past NASA official saying that NASA should look into it more. But a lot of people say NASA knows a lot more than they let on, obviously, with all their satellites out there. The other thing was, and I've seen this in some interviews, some congressmen talking about the reason people say, well, Trump talks all the time. Why wouldn't he have disclosed this if he knew anything about it? Apparently, because UFOs visit nuclear silos so much, uh, places not only where they store nuclear bombs, but where nuclear energy is made. It's UFOs are considered under a nuclear. They're kind of a nuclear secret, which I guess if Trump talked about things that were considered nuclear secrets, it would be considered treason if he did so, if it wasn't cleared by all the right channels. So apparently, for the people say he has a big mouth, he would have said something by now. Apparently, he's putting a lot of people that are known pro UFO disclosure people into positions in the government, in his new regime that's coming up. So there probably is going to be disclosure of some form, more than we've had up to this point, which has sure been a lot in recent years, but we're still a long way from the government fully coming out about us being visited. But it looks like things are overall heading in the right direction, although there seems to be still a lot of obstacles. But here's something annoying. This barely made any news in Canada compared to the US. And of course, okay, maybe this was a US congressional hearing, but Canada gets a lot of news about the US in general. I found this was underwhelming. But specifically, there was a story by CBC News in Canada that I saw that really angered me, because it basically said that some people testified at the hearing, nothing really came out new, and some investigations through the government's UFO investigative program were done last year, and they found nothing. And here, before I get into the end, then one of the main things about that hearing was the people like Rear Admiral Gallaudet and Luis Elizondo, the former head of the U.S. Pentagon's UFO program, were saying that the government is not telling the truth. That was one of the main reasons they were saying this, and the Congress people were agreeing with them. Tim Burchett, one of the Congress men from Tennessee, the Congress guy from Tennessee, great guy, he's been doing interviews today saying he's been told stuff in confidentiality where he can say this stuff is happening. He's just not allowed to say it public. So this stuff is happening. So it's just annoying that Canada is like, well, nothing was really said, and a government report denied all of this was happening. But here's what really pissed me off. They went on to say that a weather balloon was shot down over Canada last March. Not a weather balloon, but a balloon. Okay? Let's go back into that story from March 2023. A Chinese spy balloon was shot down. We saw the wreckage from that. Then there was 3 other unidentified anomalous phenomenon shot down. But let me just show you the one from Canada has been declassified. Okay, this was the one from Canada. This was another news report from CTV News in Canada. They were provided by the government through a National Defense Information Access request, a photocopy. They didn't want to give them the real thing, the best one, but they provided a photocopy of a screenshot of the UFO that was shot down over Canada. And the reason they only put this out in recent months was because they didn't want to cause confusion at the time. But tell me this, people, look at this thing. This was shot down, by the way, by the US over Canada, over the Yukon in Canada. That is not a spy balloon. That is not a weather balloon. And they're not showing us the wreckage of that. All they're showing us is a photocopy of a screenshot, which was released by the Department of Defense here in Canada. All I'm saying is CBC reported that, oh, there was a UFO shot down over Canada last year, but it turned out to be a balloon. That's not a frickin' balloon. That is not a balloon. I'm sorry. The only wreckage we saw of any of the 4 things that were shot down were the Chinese spy balloon. The other 3 things that were shot down, 2 of them were over US airspace. That was the one from Canada, which, by the way, they were shot down with missiles that cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why are you using these $750,000 missiles if it's just hobby balloons? Anyways, I just thought that was horrible reporting in that CBC thing, and I like that. I don't see any actual political people in Canada talking about this subject at all. Nobody really. I mean, the people care because people ask me about it all the time, but it doesn't seem like the news cares that much in Canada, or the politicians like they do in the US. And which is one of the reasons I'm getting the hell out of this country for the winter. And hopefully one day I'll have a work visa and can get out of here permanently, because I really don't like it in a lot of ways. But I wish everybody a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the hearing and what you think about this thing that CBC News here in Canada called a balloon that was shot down. That's not a balloon. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not. I'm not saying anything other than jets were okay. If that was just a balloon, why were American and Canadian jets working together? And it even said, okay, let's look at this closer. Okay, it was shot down after the Chinese balloon, yes. But this was only identified as an unidentified aerial object that was shot down by NORAD. So to act like that was nothing is ridiculous. There's more to that story than people are letting on. Thanks for watching.